Welcome back to All Eyes on Me. I'm Divinity, your host, and today we are interviewing somebody that is incredibly special to me, and for some reason we still have yet to hang out, but we talk about it all the time. Who are you, girl?
It's your girl V, aka Venetia, the owner of Vibes by VZ in the motherfucking building. Can I say motherfucking?
Yeah, you can say fuck all you want. This is an unfiltered podcast.
Like, you need to be professional. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, girl, no. This is the most realist, rawest version of you that we want to showcase. So, how'd you and I meet? I don't even remember.
Nicole.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Was it the last shoot?
Savage.
Okay, we don't even have to say the name. That was a weird fucking photo shoot. Anyway. But I was following you for a minute before we met that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I was like, I love her. And then I met you and I was like, I love her even more in person.
Oh my God, when I first met you, I was like, who is this? Like, I must immediately follow you because like your spirit was just gravitating.
I love you for that. Thanks, girl.
Serious.
Yeah, you're a queen. I wanted to get you on this podcast so fucking bad because I just knew you had so much to offer. And this podcast is about artists, but it's about real shit. And it's about what artists go through behind the scenes, not just in front. And I feel like you're such a professional and you hold it together so well. You have a story to tell.
Yeah, I do. I do have a story to tell. Life's not easy when it comes to the passing of my mother. That was like the most trauma I've ever experienced in life. I didn't think I was going to be losing my mom at such a young age, which is actually really crazy because my mom lost her mom when she was 17.
Wow.
I lost my mom when I was like 25. I'm still learning to live with. She's the reason I'm dancing. Like, she put me in dance when I was 4 years old, and she always would talk about me to her friends, and she would always just be like, yo, that's my baby, like, you better go, girl. And my number one supporter, always on every single one of my posts. I'm telling you, like, this girl did not miss a post and would always be showing her friends at work, and she always made me just feel like a star. She's like, yo, them other girls, they can't do what you do. I'm like, stop. So she always filled my head up, but like, she never spoke any lies. Like, she was always the realest person in the room.
Wow.
If I'm being honest, it does suck that she's not here with me, but she has given me so much strength and guidance not being here. She's actually helped me a lot not being here. Believe it or not, I had numerous doors open after she had passed away. So I'm like, yo, this is nothing. This is nobody but her. Like, sending me all of these blessings, sending me all of these messages, like, hey, you're gonna be okay. Like, basically giving me all these opportunities. So I didn't have to deal with like too much of a whole. I'm trying to figure out how to put this in words.
Let's start at the beginning. Because I know this is a hard topic to talk about. You haven't talked about this.
No.
Right? Mm-mm. Okay. I'm going to facilitate because I know how hard it is to talk about something that just happened. Was your mom the one that put you in dance when you were a kid?
Yeah, she was the one that put me in dance when I was a kid. And I fell in love with it. So, of course, like, that was my happy place. And she knew it was my happy place. And
how did she know that you were going to be a dancer?
3-4 years old, always just walking around the house, like, on my toes, and like, I guess I was acting like a ballerina, and she was just like, yeah, like, you were always on your toes, so I just put you in dance. And ever since that day, like, I actually saw a paper, like, from, I think I was in first grade, yeah. When I was in first grade, and she ended up showing it to me when she was going through some things. Like, I was about, like, 19 at the time, and she was just like, oh my God, look at what I found. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is it? She's like, it's a paper you wrote. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I write? And I actually wrote that I wanted to be a professional dancer.
Wow.
And go to a performing arts school at like 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just like, that had already been my calling from like when I was like, who knows these things when they're like 6 years old? Like, you usually discover yourself like later on in life, maybe 13. And you're still discovering yourself even like after you graduate from high school, when you're in college and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty crazy that my mom just like, she just knew.
I can relate to that. My mom was the same way. Yeah. She put me in dance like when I was 1.5, and she just would always tell my dad she's going to be a dancer. My dad was like, I think she's going to be whatever she wants to be. And my mom was like, But this is somebody special. Like she's going to be something. And I can just feel, and every mom talks about their kid. Well,
Right.
not every mom, I guess, but every mom that's proud to be a mom and proud of their child in general, like talks them up like they're going to be everything. But I feel like yours and mine have that in common where they just knew like what we were meant to do. So that's powerful.
No, it
It's
is.
hella powerful.
It is that, like, when I moved to LA, that was honestly really hard for me. But
Where'd you move from?
Riverside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Not
I'm
too
still in
far.
Cali now.
What
Like,
is that, like 30 minutes outside of LA?
like an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wasn't the best with communication. And my mom, I'm telling you, she would make it a thing. Like, she would contact me probably like 3 times a day. And I would just be like busy as hell and like, oh shit, I forgot to text my mom back. And her persistent, like the fact that she was so persistent, it just made me like want to become like just be a better daughter and like responsive. So I'd be like, okay, like let me at least FaceTime her. Like, you guys saw my friends. Like, I literally would be on FaceTime with my mom like every other day, or at least like sending her a message. Like, she would always send me a good morning text, always send me a good night text, always send me a have a blessed day, sweetie text. And yeah, it's just like people would tell me like, yo, like I love that, like, because I don't have that relationship with my mom. And I was just like, I always valued that and held on to that. And that's why it made it hard for me when I actually lost her, because I was just like, damn, like that was
your
actually
best
my
friend.
best friend.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I talked to her about everything almost, you know.
Were you guys hella close before you moved to LA, or do you feel like the move made you guys closer?
No, I feel like the move made us a lot closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because mothers and daughters, I feel like.
But no,
you go
actually,
through your
I
waves.
lied. We were pretty close.
You were.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Because like we would just do the daughter and mom thing, and
A little bit of rivalry.
yeah,
But like you love each other.
Yeah, like she would piss me off, but at the same time, like she'd be like, okay, like what do you want to eat? I'm like, Taco Bell.
So when you moved here, did you have her visit you a lot, and had her at your performances? Like,
So yeah, that is one thing. Like, I'm telling you, my mom would show up for me. Like, she would call off work. If like she had to call off and she had work, she'd be like, nah, I'm gonna be there for my baby. Yeah, like if she went to a performance that was outside, stood out there for probably like almost 6 to 8 hours. It was like the Amber Rose Slut Walk. And like that's wow. Like I had a couple of friends that came, but I'm like, the fact that I had my parents there, like, and my dad, he didn't want to be there. The only reason he was there was because of my mom. My mom, she would be at every single performance that I had.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, one brother and one sister.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn.
But my sister, she has her own life. My brother, we're not so close. But it's only because he's antisocial.
He's younger. Are you the middle child?
No, I'm the youngest.
Oh.
Yeah, he's actually the oldest.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I don't want to go into too many details, but like he's just antisocial.
Okay. And then where does your sister live? Is she in LA?
No, she's in Rubidoux, so she's like back home. It's like
Okay.
15 minutes from Riverside. Yeah, but she has 3 kids.
So you were like your mom's everything
Yeah,
for the most part.
yeah. Like, of course, those kids were basically my mom's babies as well. So it's like that was like like basically my niece and my nephew. Like I was closer to age with them, so I kind of hung out with them a lot more. Even though I was the auntie, but I was like that cool auntie.
Wait, sorry, these are half siblings?
Yeah,
Oh,
basically, because they all have
okay.
different. I'm not going into details, but they all have different dads. But
Okay,
yeah.
so okay, got you.
Yeah.
Damn. So you were like, sorry, I know this is hard for me to. I'm having a hard time just asking you questions about this because it's a hard question. This is heavy. I can't imagine It's like so hard because my mom and I don't have a relationship like what people may think, because I've protected her a lot and I will always protect her. But like we're as much in love with each other as much as there is so much shit between us. Like we have a really hard relationship, but I just think the topic of like mothers and daughters is just really hard.
No, it is. You know, like every Mother's Day,
Complicated.
like you wanna know what I do? I block it out.
You disassociate.
And then people bring it up, and I'm like, why would you do that? But I get it. Like, it's something I do need to be more open about. I need to kind of be more expressive when it comes to those feelings and just let them out when I am feeling like, versus blocking it. I do need to just let it be. Like, if I'm feeling emotional, like, hey, it's Mother's Day, like, let that shit out. Don't just, bottle it in. That's how diseases happen. That's how, like, stress happens. That's how my mom probably, like, passed. Like, that's why she passed.
What happened? If you're okay to talk about it.
Well, my mom is a giver. Like, she would give you the freaking jacket on her back and just be sitting there in the fucking cold. She would give you the last dollar she had in her wallet. And I feel like she gave so much to the point where she let her health kind of deteriorate unknowingly, and was just dealing with a lot of stress and just a lot within, like, the family at home. I wasn't there at the time because I was already in LA, but, like, with the family at home, she'd be like, oh yeah, your brother stressed me out, your dad stressed me out. And I'm just like, Mom, don't let them stress you out. Just try to, like, not let them stress you out. And, like, I think that stress, honestly, was, like, the biggest thing. And, like, also her just being a people pleaser. That's what, because I didn't think she was really horrible with her health. I felt like my mom would always tell me, make sure you take your vitamins, drinking water, this and that. Like, not saying she ate the cleanest, but also hereditary. I think my grandma, she passed at, like, a young age as well. I forget, but I know my mom was 17 at the time when she lost her mom. So I think it kind of probably had something to do with her mom's health.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, now I'm just, like, on this whole different journey where I just want to focus on my health, my mental, because, like, I know, not just for, like, myself, but for her.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Did you feel like your mom was focusing on her mental health when she was alive, or no, she wasn't? She didn't go to therapy.
I think we need to focus on mental health awareness, because check on your strong friends. Like, that's a real thing. Check on those people that you think are doing well, because chances are they're probably not, and they're bottling it up. Because you know how sometimes you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. Secretly, you're freaking over here, like, have the worst, like, stomach pain. You're just like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, and women do this. We do this a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm ignoring the pain, but, like, girl, go get that checked out. Like, you've been having this stomach pain for a while. Like, I was ignoring something. I was like, I've been having this sharp pain in my stomach. They're like, V, why are you just ignoring it? I was like, I don't know. And, like, literally, I'm like, this kind of, like, reminded me of, like, maybe this was the issue with my mom. I was like, dang, I was like, we got to stop being like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it definitely opened my eyes to be more aware, and just whenever you see those things, like, don't, like, take it seriously. Like, don't think that it's not serious.
You know what's crazy too is that your mom lost her mom at such an early age that I'm sure that she was going through exactly what you're going through right now. Disassociation, bottling it up, not wanting to talk about it. Your mom's a mover. Your mom's a giver. Your mom didn't want to fixate on her trauma, so she just kept it moving. And then next thing you know, she's making herself sick over years and years and years of pushing it down. And so right now you have this opportunity to break what is deemed generational trauma, but this is so much deeper than that. This is generational loss. It's like you just have this mirror with your mom and her mom, your grandma, and you have this opportunity to kind of break this this energy of that you have to just keep it moving all the time. You can lose it. You're allowed, especially because this is such a grave loss for you, and this is something that has forever changed your life, Like, honestly, I think that a lot of people are going to listen to this episode and be reminded that it's so important to be human, because I definitely believe that as artists, it's so easy for us to just take our pain and throw it into our art forms and to just act like everything's cool and Gucci. But, dancers and singers, we do this the most.
Facts.
We take our shit and we're like, oh, I'll just put it into my dance. It's fine. I'm getting filmed today. Okay, bitch, turn it
Facts.
on.
And
but
that
like,
is so unhealthy.
What the fuck are you doing after the dance studio? You're going to go home, you're going to cry, you're going to lose it. And everybody else is kikiing at the bar and at the club. And, like, meanwhile, you're fucking dying. So,
right.
It's like, it's so weird and isolating to live in LA and to be around people that are all fighting for their dreams, because it's almost like we do leave our shit at the door so much to a toxic degree. And God forbid you admit, like, my mom just died. Oh, well, we have to get on stage right now. Like,
and that's how we are conditioned.
Yeah, no, we're trained.
I hate that.
I know.
Like, I really do.
I know.
I really do.
Well, and then like, where's the vulnerability when you walk
Makes you
into class?
desensitized.
It's like, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got to talk. No, we don't. We got to dance.
Right.
I felt that way when I was dancing full time. Like, I'm just now coming out of retirement and going back into dance because of the toxicity that I experienced.
It's a toxic environment.
Yeah, I had to step away because, like, genuinely, I was going through so much shit coming out of the childhood I had and trying to go professional in dance. And then I felt like everything just crumbled and it was out of my control. It's like it slipped through my fingers. And then in my 20s, I like rebelled a lot. I talk about this a lot online in so many ways, but I've never like disclosed the whole story. But there were so many moments in my 20s where I was like, I don't even know who the fuck I am right now. I'm just like rebelling from I don't even know what, like so much shit that I've never actually dealt with. But I know that I've lost my sense of dance because that used to be the art form that saved me, and then it became the art form that was destroying me because I only fixated on it and I like made it my obsession.
Crazy that you said that.
Dead ass. Like I started to resent dance in a way because it was like I would go to the studio and it once was the place that I could feel the most vulnerable. I'd walk in and I would just let it out. And I would cry while I danced sometimes. Like I would put on some fucking music and, you know, whip my head around and have tears streaming down my face while I was moving around. And then I remember this one day I walked into the studio and it's like I resented it. I didn't want to, I wanted to leave it at the door. I wanted to like be professional and I wanted to just not think about my shit anymore. Forgetting that your shit can actually make the best art, but it's this weird, you know, dichotomy of like you walk in and you're like, I don't want to feel this anymore. I'm tired of feeling. And you're not fully worked through.
Tired of feeling.
Yeah.
No,
and, you
agreed.
know, it's like I felt like I wasn't fully done healing or like working through the shit that I was dealing with. But I also, I was tired of crying. I was tired of bringing it into the studio. So I would start doing this thing where I left it at the studio door. And the next thing I know, I didn't even know where it went. It was just hidden. It was locked away. And then it just fucking, I don't know. Like I get it.
Yeah, same. Like literally, how does your outlet become something that's like a crutch? I'm like, how is my happy place no longer my happy place? Like, it was just energies. Like, I had to start dealing with certain energies in the room that I didn't feel like were genuine, and it put me in a weird headspace. And I'm like, damn, this is supposed to be my happy place. Why am I not happy? Mm-hmm. Whether it was me being in a relationship and having to deal with past maybe situations being in the room, and I'm just like, okay, or like, you know, it's like you think you're good and then your mental would like you put it in the back of your head, but then it comes back in the forefront of your brain because you're just like, oh shit, like let me just bury that. Right. But no, it's still there. All you're doing is just like, let me just cover it up. Like that's not a problem you've dealt with. You're not, you know. So I don't know, just I felt like I lost my drive because yeah, there was a lot of different energies I encountered over time and I didn't feel like they were genuine. Yeah. It was very hard for me to trust certain people because I was like, you know what? I just don't feel like anybody's genuine because I would just hear, I'm not like certain people talk about A, B, and C, and then you're hanging out with A, B, and C. So I'm like, you're probably doing the same thing to me. So I was no longer like, okay, this is not a community. This is like a very competitive, like weird, like, I don't know, like pick me situation. But at the same time, it's like you're smiling in this person's face, but you're saying like, oh, you're talking MS. I don't know. It was just a very toxic environment, I feel.
Can I tell you something fucked that I went through in my early 20s, which is why I had to walk away from dance? I had my eating disorder taking over so hard that it was to the point I was like, because, you know, when your body's not getting enough nutrition, it like plays into your mental health, obviously, right? Absolutely. And so I found myself walking into the studio feeling very out of body. Like my depression was so fucking bad and my outlook of myself was so warped. I would look in the mirror and it was just like how these Lifetime movies show it, where you're looking in the mirror and you see this body that's like disgusting when you really look beautiful. And, you know, it's like there's that split screen and I'm like pinching my skin and I'm so hard on myself. It was very Black Swan. Like I was ripping myself apart, and to the point where I wanted to like take a knife and just cut my skin off to make me skinnier. Like it was so dark and demented. And I had to walk away from dance for a bit because I felt like there wasn't anybody I could talk to about this, because what I noticed was the moment I started opening up about these really toxic, dark thoughts that I had about my body, it was almost like people were happy that I was going through trauma, because it meant that they had a chance to get the roles I was going after now, because I'm showing a sign of weakness. And this is some really dark shit that I've noticed in the industry, especially within the dance world, that I don't think anybody talks about. But when you're going through some shit and you bring it into the dance studio and you open up, they're kind of like, oh, there's her weakness. There it is. Now she's showing a sign that she's not as strong, or she's not as competitive, or she's not able to get the role anymore. Now I've got a chance. And it's like there's that human side of people that does feel bad for you that you're going through something, but then there's that really fucked up competitive, I want this dream as much as you do side, where they are like almost happy that you have this trauma now in this really fucked up way that they're never going to admit to. I don't know if you went through that, but that's what I noticed.
I've honestly have felt that, and that's why when I lost my mom, I refused to let it deteriorate me. I refused to let it put me in a dark place. I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this as hunger. Like, I'm gonna use this as like, all right, like, let's motherfucking do this shit. Like, let's go. Yeah. Like, let's go. Like, life, you want to do that to me? You really want to do that to me? You want to take away my mom? That's cool. I was like, you are not going to break me. I was like, now let's turn this into a light. I was like, my light was dimmed for like a moment. And then I was like, nah, I can't. Like, I snapped back into it so quick. Yeah. So I thought, that shit will come back to you, because it'll come out in different ways. When I was in a relationship around the time that I lost my mom, it honestly helped me a lot. But also I realized I was projecting a lot of those feelings that I had not ever let out. And I think I almost like self-sabotaged in a way. Like, I'm grateful for that person for being there for me, like, on a very dark time, like at a very dark time in my life. But it's just like, that person took a lot of shit. Like, I definitely wasn't myself. And like behind closed doors, like maybe nobody really knew what I was going through, but this person like knew what I was going through.
Who is this person? Your friend? Your lover?
Yeah, this was the lover.
Your lover.
Yeah, this was the lover. Yeah. And I had been with that person for like 4 years, and you know, so it was not just tough for me, it was tough for them, and I felt bad, but at the same time it was something I just had to like, you know, it just, I couldn't control it. Like, I couldn't control it.
That's PTSD for you.
Oh my God, yeah. And I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I was in denial. No, girl, you're not fine. But it's okay to not be okay. And I had to learn that it was okay to not be okay, because I just didn't want to go through the motion of being sad. Like, I hate being sad. I hate being vulnerable. Like, I hate that shit. Like, I don't want it. I'm like, nope, I want to be happy. Like, so I'm happy. Let's go dance. Dance makes you happy. Go dance. Go do that. And then all of a sudden, it just wasn't making me happy. And I was like, I'm not happy. And then I was blaming my partner. I'm not happy. Like, what, like, and I'm like, you know what? I got to find the happiness within myself. So I went on this whole self-love journey. It brought me back into falling in love with dance again. But somehow, some way, the industry is tainted. So it's like I kind of am in this weird in between, like.
You're kind of apprehensive to come back into it, because now you're like, okay,
yeah, no, because
since my mom died,
it's a lot.
I see some of y'all.
Yeah, it's like,
it's like you.
I don't feel like people really understand, like, yo, like, hey, like, I don't have my mom.
Right.
Like, y'all over here, what's woo, kiki, which is fine, but like, I don't feel like y'all, I don't know, claim to be here for me, that you, like, shit, I don't even throw anybody under the bus.
No, you don't have to say names.
It's just
you
like,
can just talk about it. Don't say names.
It's just like, I just felt like people that claim that they were going to be there for me are just like living their fucking best life and just shoving it in my fucking face.
Well, it's kind of like the, how are you?
Yeah.
Why are you asking if you don't really want to know?
Yeah.
I'm good. Oh, good. Man.
And then you want to ask my friends, like, oh, how is she? Like, no, don't do that shit.
I knew the moment that my best friend died a couple years ago. very few people could fucking hold me during that. I was on a complete rampage. I was so fucking mad at the world. I wasn't me. I think that kind of intimidation that I gave people, because I was always so vulnerable and messy and able to like just be like, I'm going through it, you know, and just like put it all on the table. And I noticed over time, okay, a lot of people they don't do that. And I'm a suffer in silence type, even though I'm also as messy and vulnerable as I am suffer in silence.
Suffer in silence. We should make that a shirt, suffer in silence.
No, dead ass. Like I definitely think that it's part of the upbringing I had, which is be messy and vulnerable, because I grew up around chaos and turbulence and, you know, growing up too fast, being around people who were always wearing their shit on their sleeves. But then simultaneously, It's like,
there's gotta be a balance.
Yeah, I'm giving you enough that like, you know, that I'm going through some shit and I'm hoping that somebody cares, but I'm not giving you the full thing. You know, like people knew when I dipped in my depression, and they knew that I was going downhill with my eating disorder, but they didn't know to what degree, right? Like I gave them enough that I was kind of looking for the people that had my back or the people that cared. And just by giving them level 5 and seeing that like nobody gave a fuck, I was like, well, shit, you don't know how actually bad it is behind closed doors.
Really, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, no,
that's like the hardest like
actually real
thing I've ever like accepted in life. But I've actually come to terms that nobody gives a fuck. So really, like, just show up for yourself, and you're gonna attract what's meant for you, and what's not meant for you is going to just somehow get out of your life. But just be there for yourself. Like be your own hero. And I'm just living by that motto now, being my own hero, because that's like I would look for other people for guidance, and I'm like, yeah, nah, like you're not the person I thought that you were. Like you've changed a lot, and it's just like maybe I need to figure out within myself. And I'm like, I got my guardian angel that's constantly guiding me, but then still I'm like looking for other signs through other people, and I'm like, maybe it's not through people, maybe it's through myself. So then, like I said, that goes back to my self-love healing journey, and I'm just like, okay, figure it out within yourself. Like stop looking for love, because when I love hard. And I'm just hopeful, romantic.
I find myself sometimes having these what we call mountain girl moments,
yes.
MGM. And it's that moment where I kind of show that I'm not from LA, where I'm kind of like hoping for a little bit more realness, you know? And, you know, we were talking last night, and they were like, I feel like even though you're so good, like you're so professional, you're so on your shit, you have these moments though where I can tell why people are mean to you, because you try a little too hard. Like sometimes it's so obvious. You just want somebody to love you. You just want somebody to like you. And for what? And for why? And I was like, damn, like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to completely let that dissolve in me, because that's something I was raised in, like from an early age, just the try hard mentality.
So like something you have to unlearn.
Yeah. And it's not even, I don't even know if try hard's the right word, but it's like this expectation that you just want somebody to come as correct as you come, which it doesn't mean it's perfect. It doesn't mean it's, you know, on it, but it's just real. Like I'm showing you my humanness, like my realness. And I don't know. I feel like some people just have such a hard time with showing that they're actually just as messy and fucked up as I am. And like, what's wrong with that? Because at least I own it.
Like really, really behind closed doors.
It's
like nobody
so
would
suffer
even
in silence.
know. Like
yes, but to the point where I'm like, are you okay?
Right.
Because like, bro, I've fucking buried people. I've been through a lot of shit in my life. Like, I'm still showing up and I'm being nice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and some people just they harness that so much.
They do, and it comes out in other ways.
Yeah, and I'm sure you feel that like now that you've gone through this insane thing with your mom dying. Right. Where you're kind of noticing how much
like,
people have dealt with.
Like, don't bottle it. Like, you gotta just let it out.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's hard for you to now come into your vulnerability a little bit more, because you're noticing that a lot of people have a hard time with vulnerability too?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. It's not hard. Like, you don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want anyone to have control over knowing what your weaknesses are, because then they may try to use that against you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, dang. I was like, maybe I told that person in confidential, and then like all of a sudden you're just, you know, using it against me. I'm like, okay.
Out of 10 people, how many people do you think actually have your back?
Oh.
10 people.
Wow, this is a real ass question. Probably about 3.
I would say 1.
Yeah?
For me.
You think 1?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm hella jaded.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I'm so jaded.
Nah. I
But-
mean, that probably sounds like even more accurate. I'm like, this is what I think. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
You
I don't really
hope.
know.
You're
This is
such
what
a
I
Leo.
hope.
You're such a Leo.
Yeah, like I got hope, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe that was even being Jojo. I'm like, I'm like, literally, I'm like, I got myself. That's what I was really about to say, but I was like, no, let me not say that, because I do feel like there's genuine people in this world. It's just there's just not many at all.
What happened leading up to your mom passing? Like, going just through the play-by-play of like how that changed your life. Like, how did I can't even wrap my brain around the fact that like that was so quick too. She wasn't sick for long, right?
Like before she had passed, like 2 years.
That's not that long.
No, it's not. Crazy thing is, I think she knew, and I was just in denial, because we would have phone conversations sometimes, and she would be like, yeah, V, like, you need to like work on building a relationship with your dad, because I might not be here that long. And I'm just like, Mom, stop talking crazy. Like, you're gonna be here.
Wow.
And honestly, after she said that, I kid you not, it was probably like a few months after that when I received a call when I was at work, and that she like had a stroke.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I had like 7 or 8 missed calls from my sister. I was like, this is not good. Like, I already was preparing myself for the worst. I was like, what the I was like, yo, I was still clocked in at work. I just looked at my phone. I said, oh, hold on. I called my sister back, and my niece answered, and she didn't know what happened at the time, but she's like, yo, grandma had a heart attack. She thought it was a heart attack, but she was a stroke. I dropped to the floor. Like, I dropped in front of everybody to the floor, and just was like bawling my fucking eyes out, because like literally that was like the initial thing. I was like, we lost her. Mom already has a weak heart. Like, we lost her. Like, she's gone. This is it. So I already went through that like traumatic emotion, and then, gathered myself and like called my sister back. She's like, yeah, so we're on our way to the hospital. Like, Mom had a stroke. She didn't have a heart attack. She had a stroke, but like, get here as fast as you can. But actually, don't get here as fast as you can. Sorry, she did not say that. Get here, just, whenever you can get here. Be safe, do not speed, and actually don't go right now. Like, take a minute, take a breather. And I was like, nah, I'm going. Someone grabbed my keys. They're like, V, you are not going anywhere. I was like, nah, like, I'm going now. They're like, V, sit down. We're going to do your checkout. We're going to handle some stuff for you before you leave. Just don't.
No, if that were me, I'd be like, take my fucking keys.
Like, literally, I wanted to fight, but I was like, honestly, I was grateful for them, because I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, let me just cool down or whatever, because like they're right. Like, I got in that car, I was kind of manic. Like, I was kind of manic. I literally left my money on top of my fucking car. Like, from that day, I was fucking pissed. Like, but so like I'm on my way to the hospital, and I spent her last moment. Well, this is basically the last moment she was with us. Like, she was like coherent. She was there. I held her hand. I held on to the moment where she just was sitting there, just rubbing my hand. Obviously, she was paralyzed on the left side of her body, so like she just had her one hand that she just was able to like kind of rub. And I was like, "Hey, Mom, I'm here." She's like, "Mm-hmm." Like, she wasn't able to really like formulate words, but she was able to kind of like give me like head nod, like, the motions, like little like mumbles and stuff. But it was honestly really hard seeing her like that. Not gonna lie. But that wasn't even the hardest part. The hardest part was probably like literally the day after. Like, I left, like, then they put her in an induced coma, because they said that she like was like having seizures. So they put her in an induced coma, and then after that they ended up fuck.
It's okay.
They ended up just like, she was just no longer there. Like, she was just a body at that point. Giving us a call, telling us that, yeah, so what do you guys want to do? We had to like meet with the family. There's a couple of options with therapy, but she has a very, very, very weak heart. I'm gonna be honest with you. We really don't think she's gonna make it. It would be a miracle if she does. Just let us know what you guys want to do. And I was thinking, like, if she was to be on this like recovering shit, what am I even saying? If she was to even like be on that like the recovering like therapy or whatever, she wouldn't want that. Like at that point, we had to make an executive decision to kind of either pull the plug or just like try to get her through therapy. And I'm like, well, if that's even an option, like at this point. So once we made that decision, that I'm like, yeah, we know Deborah, like we know my mom. She would not want to be like just there. Like she would have just been there. Like she would have been miserable. Yeah. You know, like people like really don't make it after strokes usually, and she has a weak heart too. So she would have been like on like just so many different things. Like she would have just been a body. I was like, yeah, no, I don't think she would want that. So we did make the executive decision to like just pull the plug, but they didn't even get the opportunity to do that because she was already going to be going. And I was in class. And I received a call from my sister. I was in the car and she had told me like, yeah, they said that are you she's not doing good. She's probably not gonna make it. She's probably got until tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And I ended up pulling up, just, being there. I wasn't there when she passed. Actually, when I drove, there was this beautiful sunset, like sunsetting, like the sun was set, like it was like golden hour. It was actually beautiful. And me and my ex actually seen that, and he was like, yo, like, he's like, if that is what I think it is, like, I feel like your mom, she just went to heaven. I was like, yeah, I think she did too.
Wow.
But, damn, literally I did so good.
Okay.
But, yeah, that was that. And, because I already felt like I had lost her, like even when she was in, I did a GoFundMe and all that stuff, and that she just didn't make it. But yeah, now she's in a better place. She's not in that suffering body. She's free spirit. She's living her best life in heaven. I refuse to think of any other way, and that's what helps me get through my days, to be honest with you.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And writing in my journal sometimes, which I've been horrible at these past. That's probably why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling recently. But yeah.
Besides feeling this weirdness with having community or not, dance wise, and like I said, like I don't know even if we explained it the right way, because it's so hard. It's like so complex to talk about.
Oh, it is.
These like multitudes of feelings that you feel when you go through something so traumatic that gives you so much PTSD, and then walking into a room with
like my stomach is like
totally
right now. Like it's literally like it just did this, and I was like,
no,
talking about that was really hard.
No, I know. I remember when my best friend died, and I walked into a room that was familiar, and suddenly it felt like all I was looking at was like people that were just dead, and like I don't know how to explain it.
Oh no, I understand you.
Like
no,
I
really
walked into the room, and these faces who I had seen every single day suddenly felt like strangers. Everybody just felt like a stranger, and everybody felt like they were dead inside. I felt like I was feeling these things that were new feelings that nobody else was experiencing. And why am I the only one? I don't want you guys to lose your mom. I don't want you guys to lose your best friend. I don't want you guys to feel this intense trauma that I'm feeling. But like, why me? Like you go through that motion where you're like,
you want to know why?
Why? Yeah.
Because God loves to challenge his toughest soldiers.
That's what they say.
That's what they say, but apparently that's
Do you feel that?
yes and no. Honestly, it's crazy because I had a crazy, weird, spiritual journey that kind of, I don't know. I shifted. My mindset just completely shifted. It was to the point where I didn't believe in God anymore.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I was never really like religious like that, but my mom was. So I was like, I believe there's a God. I just don't know if like, I feel like he's universal. And this was over time because I grew up in a Christian family. So, we believe God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. But at the same time, I personally felt like, why would God take my mom, such a genuine, giving, like, person, like, no shade. Even my dad will say this, so it's okay. He's just like, yo, that should have been me. I was like, hell fucking yeah. Like,
No, but dark humor gets you through it, bitch. Dark humor is my vice. Like,
yeah,
I'm like,
literally, like, hell fucking yeah.
Of
Like,
course she would die. Like, so bad.
yeah, like, nah, like, it's just, nah, like, I'm telling you, like, when I tell you, like, my dad, he just was like, your mom was so good. She was, like, such a good woman. I was like, I know. Like, we all know, like, and my dad, he already knows how he is. Like, he knows this. He's like, damn, like, he's just like, nah, it should have been me. Like, he would say this so much. I'm like, nah, Dad, don't say that. But me and my sister, we sitting there looking at each other like, like, what the, we're like, why? Like, yo, she's like, she's like, I swear. She's like, I don't even swear to God. But she's like, yo, she's like, I hate saying this, but it's just like the fact that our mom was such a spiritual person, like, and such a religious person, and the fact that God took her, we were just like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense. Right. This does not make sense. But maybe it does. Maybe it was just meant to teach us something. I still have a hard time believing it, but I don't know. I just try to always stay in good spirits. It's not really the easiest thing, but
I think
it's what gets me through.
You're going through some sort of spiritual awakening right now.
Hell yeah.
I feel that. And I feel like a spiritual awakening is kind of a must when you experience loss, because like I said, like, it's such a unique, unrelatable trauma, because every soul that passes is a different soul. So even if somebody says like, oh, I lost my mom too, I get it. It's like, you're like, but you didn't lose my mom.
Right.
You lost your mom. Okay, we're on the same page kind of, but like, there's layers,
There's
because now I can relate to you on a lower sense than I can somebody else who didn't lose their mom. But my mom, and then you take it like one step further and you're like, damn, it feels
what
so
I've said,
unique.
I'm telling you, everyone in her life would say the same thing. Like, yo, like, this person was such a freaking giver. Like, she is such an amazing woman. It's just like, why? Like, why did he take her? Maybe he took her in order to open doors for her daughter. So, I don't know. Blessings in disguise. Parents are always supposed to go before their children. So it's like, it was gonna happen. Eventually, like, people who haven't lost a parent, they're gonna lose their parent. Hopefully, your parents go before you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a really tough subject.
Like I said, I have such a hard relationship with my mom, but I think it's so hard because it's like, I think about losing her and being in this position that you're in where I'm left with I don't know. See, my mom and I, we don't have the relationship that you and your mom did, where it's just consistently love, support. There's so much anger and resentment and jealousy.
That might
and
even
so
be
much
like
shit threaded in our
and
relationship.
See, I would
too.
never know like what it's like to like lose my mom if like I didn't have a good relationship with her. Like, I would probably be living with resentment. Like, or damn, like, regret. Like, damn, I wish I treated my mom better. Like, I wish, like, I built that relationship with my mom. And she, like, opened my eyes to now my dad. Like, me and my dad, no relationship. We don't call each other. We don't text each other.
Still?
Now we do.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm talking, like, present. But I'm like, we didn't. Sorry. We didn't call each other. We didn't text each other. Yeah.
Wow.
Because of my mom. That brought me and all my other siblings closer.
But you never thought that would happen.
No, like my sister became my best friend. She basically took like the place of, actually I gotta call her. She actually took the place of my mom. Like that helped me out a lot. Like I was going through so many things. And I was like, well, I can't call my mom. Like who the fuck can I call? Like my sister, like literally 5 o'clock in the morning, answered the damn phone knowing she had work, or freaking 4 o'clock in the morning knowing she had work at 5 or something. Like, yeah, it's just, that was my girl. Like, you know, and I wouldn't even think that like me and my sister were gonna get close because, you know, we're so far in age. But actually, it was actually crazy because growing up, like I would be with my sister, like, cause I'd be with her kids, like my niece and nephew, like we were close. So she was kind of like a mom figure in a way, anyways. But it's just like, obviously we kind of like out. It just like when I moved to LA, our dynamic just changed. I just wasn't like talking to any of my family. The only family member I would really talk to was my mom. I was just so wrapped up in the LA life. I was busy. And I hate that it's like still like make time for your family. Even if you are busy, like you just never know. I'm glad I made time for my mom because if I didn't, like I would feel like a shitty ass fucking daughter.
Shit.
I'm sorry.
No, it's like real though.
You should text your mom. You should call your mom. Like if I'm gonna give like any messages to anybody who's dealing with grief, or not even grief, or who's just who just doesn't know because we don't know. Like you just don't know. Like just treat everybody good. And I know sometimes it's hard, but it's better to build to just. It's gonna hurt regardless. But you don't want to. I think it would have been worse if I did not like have that relationship with my mom. But then at the same time, I don't know. It might be better because then maybe you don't have that attachment with that person. So then it's easier for you to just brush it off. It's like, oh, we don't even talk every day. So it's like,
Loss you want somebody to relate to when it comes to trauma. Like
do.
I don't have a lot of friends in my life that have mommy issues. Like I'm not gonna lie, all of my best friends are best friends with their moms. And so with my mom's situation, it's really complex because I actually have a mom who wants to be a mom, but as much as she wants to be a star and isn't a star. And in my eyes, she's a star. In my eyes, she's a total badass for the things that she's overcome in her life. But nothing was ever enough for my mom. She was a tortured soul, still is. She wants more always. She wants to go back in time 30, 40 years and redo everything. She's got so much regret. And there's a lot of victimhood that comes with that regret. And a lot of that gets projected onto me because I am her daughter. I look just like her. And so I feel like we're constantly living this parallel universe between the two of us where I am her just 30 years younger and all the things that she wanted I'm doing. And so it becomes this conversation
it's like
of competition. Like why I'm not in competition with her at all. And I know that if she listened to this episode, which maybe I'll cut this out, maybe I won't, but she would be so upset that I'm even saying out loud that I feel like she has this competition vibe with me. But I don't think it's conscious. I think it's very it's very, very, very deep, and it has nothing to do with me. It's just seeing somebody that you love so much that you've made your whole life, your whole world, but you simultaneously have this resentment with your life. And like, hey, maybe if I wasn't born, she would have made it. But I don't know. Like it's so deep, and it's like at the end of the day, my mom loves me so much, and this is that typical conversation around life and death. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because then I see somebody like you who's like, I can't have one last conversation, and I think, well, fuck.
You know, like I have all these voice memos from my mom that I like saved.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, no, like literally, like she'd be like, "Good night, baby. Love you. Hope you had an amazing day today." I'd be like, I haven't listened to a single one of them. I'm telling you, like it's just so crazy. Like I can't, like I couldn't even find. I can't. I would break. I would break if I heard her voice. I would break if I looked at pictures. Like that's why I'm so distanced from my dad still. Like it's a reminder of my mom. Like I said, I'm still like I still be hiding. Like yes, I write to my mom sometimes. I need to do it more. I literally made a vow to myself that I was going to write to her every day, and I'm failing. But it's okay. Like I know she's not judging me for it. I just know I want to do that for not just her but for myself. Yeah. Like I need to let that shit out. It's affecting me in other ways. I'm realizing I'm sleepy all the time. I'm like, you're depressed. And like I know you don't want to be, but you're depressed. And I don't talk to people about it a lot. And like I actually do have a therapist, but I don't ever talk about that a lot. I don't talk to my therapist a lot. I like literally talk to my therapist like once a month. And I'm like, damn, I should probably let it out. But I do let it out on paper. There was a day I was in a bath and taking a cute little bath. I put on some meditative music and I did a voice recording, and I just literally like was talking to my mom. I was like, damn, Mom, I miss you so much. Like, you don't even understand. Like, life is just so weird. Like, I really wish I could give you a call. Like, it was just like something along those lines. And I just like kind of like updating her on my life. And, you know, I know you probably wanted me to have a better relationship with Dad, but I just feel like it's so forced. But actually, I'm beginning to like my dad. He's starting to change his ways. And I love that for him. But at the same time, there's just this weird family dynamic going on, and I don't talk to my aunt because she looks just like my mom, and her and my dad are really close, and he wants me to talk to her, and I'm like, no. And I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, you have to respect me in my process.
Do you think there's party that's like, at the end of the day, this is a second option when my option number one was to have my mom here? Yeah. Like now I'm kind of given this, there's no other option thing with like getting close to my family. Because I've heard some people talk about that, how like when somebody passes, they'll get closer to people that they weren't close to before. Yeah. And it's this constant like, I don't know, like positive and negative, because positive is
like, you're not my mom.
Yeah.
And like, then I'm like, but hey, let me stop being like that.
You can be thankful because now you're close to your dad, but at the same time, it's this constant reminder, well, but I still wouldn't have traded my mom for this.
Right.
Kind of vibe.
So it's like, I think in a way that's what I'm like holding on to. I'm like, well, I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm literally trading. Like, but.
You're not though.
I know.
You're not.
You're right.
You're not, but I'm sure it feels like that. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have this guilt with being happy. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to constantly feel this guilt like, oh no, I'm enjoying my family too much. I'm getting too close to my dad. I'm getting too close to my aunt. Because the closer you get, it'll probably feel like you're letting your mom go more, but that's not the case.
No,
like
it's a part of it. It's just probably a part of the process. And
yeah,
it's that.
And you can let yourself go in that way, but also like, it's when you're ready. Like nobody can be pushing that on you. Because right. I mean, at the end of the day, like you also are going to gravitate to the people that you're going to gravitate to in your process. And maybe that's not your aunt.
Right. And it's just like this woman, like if you were actively hitting me up, and I'm just like, I would be, but I'm not doing it. I'm not going out of my way to build any more relationships. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong for that, but at least right now, this time in my life, I'm just letting whatever's meant for me come to me. Yeah.
So what's next for you dance-wise? Like, how do you feel now with dance? Do you feel like as an artist, you're able to kind of get back in it? Do you feel a little bit more community now that it's been a minute, or still hard?
Girl, this like
LA be fake, girl.
no, we do though.
I'm sorry. I love LA. I
do, but
I
like,
love it. I also know that it's hella fake.
It's so weird. So I had the most amazing birthday class last night. Like, I was surrounded by such beautiful, genuine energy, I feel, and it's like a small little community. Like, I do honestly feel like my little community of friends are genuine. But at the same time, the bigger community, like as a whole, like the whole industry is tainted. Like I want to create my own community.
Why do you think it's tainted?
Because of the people, because of like just the people.
In what way?
Well,
I've talked about my perception, how I think people move, but I want to hear from you because you're actually in the dance world 24/7. I'm in and out.
I just know that people just hop on the bandwagon. Like if like you're not booking, if you're not currently like hot shit right now, they're like, oh, like I'm not gonna support this person anymore. I'm gonna go over here and support this person. Maybe this person has number. Everyone's running for the clout. Like I'm just so over it. It's not even genuine. Like you're literally just taking this person class because they have clout. You don't even like. You're being a teacher's pet because maybe they have more opportunities. They're able to provide like dance gig like and stuff. And I get it. Like that's LA. That is LA. Like I understand.
Yeah,
I've done it. I've been there and I've done it.
Totally.
But I realized I was losing myself. So I was like, nah. I was like, I'm gonna stop putting myself in those environments. I just feel like it's affecting me and it's tainting my character. So then I was like, I'm gonna create my own little community. And then whoever wants to be a part of it can be a part of it. But I only want real ones in my circle. Like all the fake ones, like y'all can have it. Y'all can go live your life. I wish y'all the best, and I don't wish nobody I don't wish nobody bad. I wish everyone the best. Genuinely, it's just I don't want to be around it when it shit starts hitting the fan. Like I just want to be in my own little bubble. That's all.
I'd be lying to you if I said that at one point in my 20s I wasn't chasing fame. I was.
I'm saying we all were.
We all have.
Yeah.
But hey, it comes with the territory of knowing that you're special, right?
Yeah. And I don't even feel
there's
like
room for all
friends,
of us.
Like
There's
I feel
room.
like people look at my numbers and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like I want to be your friend." I don't even feel like certain people are really genuinely trying to be my friend. I feel like they're trying to just get clout, and I'm just like, "Wow, this is fucked up." I don't even know what's real.
Right.
And that's why I want to move. So,
You don't want to be in LA.
no, I don't.
Where do you want to move to?
I don't know. I was thinking Vegas.
Get it, bitch. I'm gonna visit you.
Yeah,
I love Vegas. I love Vegas.
No, like one of my best friends live in Vegas, so I was really like I was just talking to her the other day, like, girl.
I'd visit you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I posted on my close ones, but I think I might make that move. I don't know.
You know what? You gotta just go with the wind right now. Do what's best for you. Surrender. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Fuck. To me, it's all blurred. Like, trauma is trauma when you're going through it. Losing somebody, toxic breakup, whatever. Some shit will go down in your life.
And that's another story.
Oh, well, I mean, you're going through that too simultaneously.
Yeah, so I'm like, life, like, you throwing this at me, okay, and I'm still
Yeah.
dealing with that. I'm still healing from that. You threw this at me, I'm like, okay, I'm still dealing with that. I'm still healing. And I'm like, I can't. I'm realizing the process is not as fast as I thought it was going to be because I'm in the same industry as my ex.
Right.
In a sense.
Right. So sometimes you got to press the reset button.
Exactly. And I was like, go somewhere,
Yeah.
get your mind off of it,
Yeah.
and then come back. Come back to it. If
You know what? I moved to New York when I felt like life kept kicking me in the ass while I was in LA the first time. And it was back to back to back. My friend died. My parents divorced. I was in a really bad business partnership. And it wasn't that she was a bad person or I was a bad person. It's just it wasn't clicking, you know, and like, look, you can have a bad business partnership or even a bad friendship with somebody that we're not on the same vibration, right? Like we just we're not on the same vibration. And that can affect your life. And that added to the mix of my parents divorcing, my friend dying. I then was dealing with cancer. It was like back to back shit, right? And through it all, I was doing the LA thing where I was leaving my shit at the door. I was playing the game. I was fame hungry. And I'm willing to admit that because I feel like me being fame hungry, as I would call it back in the day, it wasn't
we have to do that in order to low key get in where we fit in.
Right.
And then
however you want to describe it,
right.
like whatever, you're fame hungry. It's all right. You ain't got to lie to kick it.
It's okay.
But like I know for myself, it came from a place of this deep knowing that I was meant to be something, whatever that looked like, right? But like I also knew that it wasn't just me. There's thousands of seats at the table that all of us can occupy, and I'm just going for my seat, right? So like in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm still in LA for a purpose, for a reason. I got to keep it moving. But the longer that I prolonged me just surrendering to the universe and not letting it guide me, it got worse and it got worse and it got worse. And sometimes you just have to press the fucking reset.
That was something so real. Surrendering to the universe.
Girl, I ended up moving to New York. Never thought I would leave LA when I did, but I moved to New York for a couple years. And granted, it was for, someone I loved, but when I fucking tell you that move to New York and that time that I spent in New York was so much bigger and deeper than just I'm here for a relationship, I'm here for love, I'm here because I also have always wanted to live in New York. It was deeper. It was like, this is my moment to truly...
Do you feel like it's running away? I'm so sorry to cut you off.
No.
Okay.
No.
I just wanted to throw that. I just wanted to know because I want to make sure it's not like I'm running away because that's why
But who cares if you are?
That's true.
Who cares? Even if you are running away. Right? Because at the end of the day, the lessons you're going to learn are the lessons you're going to learn. And sometimes you have to learn a lesson over and over and over again to finally fucking get it. And so if that means running away and having it catch up to you in Vegas or wherever the fuck you run to, run away. Bitch, it'll catch up to you. Trust me.
Right.
It'll fucking happen. Right. Finally, you're going to have to sit with your shit and learn the lesson. But for me, honestly, it was true surrender. And I thought I had met the love of my life and we had a very serious relationship. It ran its course. We didn't make it. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade that for the world because that time that I spent in New York and then this fucking little blip that I had living in Florida, being with somebody right after. And of course that didn't work out either because that was just a rebound. But it taught me so much shit that I needed to learn in order to move through that trauma and finally come back to myself and make myself a priority in a way that I didn't before. And when I got back to LA, my experience out here was so different. My energy was different. I was different. My vibe, I was attracting
We're
everything.
healing in that moment.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got back here and I had this enough is enough mentality. And I also had this, I am so present in what I have been through, but it does not define me. And it's like I'm an anti-victim mentality person, but I also am you got to come correct and come real kind of person. Like if you don't come correct in my sense, which is vulnerable, real as fuck, you don't got to be perfect. Just be real. It's okay. You've been through so have I. But like, I don't have anybody in my life now that are fake because that fakeness, I don't even judge you for that, but I just see it as you haven't dealt with your shit.
Right.
You just haven't dealt with your shit. And I don't have time to be around people that haven't dealt with their shit because my shit hit me like a truck. I didn't have a choice. Your shit just hit you. Now you're kind of like, I got no choice. I'm not running. So to me, I don't even think you'd be running if you moved because your shit's already hit you, babe.
It has.
Your mom passing is a big wake up call.
There's nothing like I feel like I haven't dealt with that would break me any more than I've already been broken. Like I'm just like, bro, I'm at rock bottom. I'm picking up my pieces, and I've literally expressed this. I'm like, yeah, I've definitely hit rock bottom, but it's okay because it's only up from here.
Yeah,
it's only up from here.
Well, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And your mom would be proud.
Thank you.
She is.
I appreciate you.
Everything that you're doing right now for you, just keep at it because you are your priority right now. And you ain't got to owe anybody an apology. If you got to move different, if you got to cut friendships, if you got to just not respond to texts, unapologetic. That's my big advice.
Right. And I got to start really moving that way because I do care a lot about, not a lot, not as much, but I do still care somewhat about what other people think and how they feel. But I'm like, look, I need to do this for me. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I got to do this for me.
Yeah.
And I would assume that you got to do whatever you need to do for you. And I respect that. Because everyone has their own shit that they're going through. I'm not trying to compare what I'm going through to what you're going through. But, you know, we all have to figure it out within ourselves.
What's your big advice if you were to tell your little inner child something right now? If you were to look at baby V?
If I was to look at baby V right now, I'd probably tell her that, like, damn, bitch, you've been through some shit. And you are probably one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life. Like, I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing it. And keep doing it. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, I really am.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening, you guys. If you want more episodes like this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. And I want you guys to follow my girl because she deserves every fucking follow. What's your handle again?
It is at VEEZIPPORAH Zipporah.
Follow the real ones. And I am Divinity Ray, your host, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.